We're recording everywhere.
Everywhere. Wonderful. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Matthew, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Welcome, campers, to another episode of the Campfire Gaming Podcast. My name is Mike, and I will be your host tonight, today, this morning, whenever you're listening to the podcast. Because it doesn't matter what time we're doing this. It's when you're doing this that's important. With me, per usual, I've got Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hi.
I got Matt with me, too. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
And lastly, special guest, we have an anonymous Wolverine. Hello, anonymous Wolverine.
Hello.
Just kidding. We've got Justin with us today for the episode. We were hoping for that Nintendo Direct to get like some really good Nintendo conversation going here. We still have hopefully next week, right? It's got to be in September. They do them in September. It's like this is what's coming out holidays. This is kind of your start to next year.
Something.
I think it's kind of like too close to Sony. I think that might be why they might have like said, okay, maybe we'll do next week, because you can't do a Direct on Tuesday and then like a Sony on Thursday, I think it is.
Yeah, it's
it would just depending on what they say at the Sony one, it would just dwarf the Nintendo stuff the next day, right? So maybe they decided to change it.
Do you think Sony is going to release a Switch Pro?
Probably. They'll call it the Swatch Pro.
And they'll abandon it a year after launch, just like all their handhelds.
I kind of wish they would have kept going with their handhelds. They had some good stuff.
Yeah, they had
I
some
heard
cool
nothing but
ideas.
good things about them.
Mhm.
I never owned one.
I got a PSP from an old job, and it was kind of nice.
The Vita was a gorgeous machine. It was really just an indie machine, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, per usual, we'll get the website and stuff out of the way. Check us out on I'm not talking well. Check us out on our website at campfiregamingpodcast.com, over on Twitter at campgamepod. Instagram is just Campfire Gaming Podcast, and our YouTube, again, Campfire Gaming Podcast. How many times can we say Campfire Gaming Podcast in a single like chunk of the episode, I wonder? Almost as much as Game Pass is Matt's answer. Check us out on our YouTube too. If you do like what you see or like what you hear, go ahead and hit that follow button, high five the thumbs up button, and subscribe to us as
Please subscribe, because if we get enough viewers and subscribers, we can actually add Campfire Gaming Podcast to the end of it, and you can find us easier instead of all the gibberish that it makes us use right now.
That's true.
We don't have enough subscribers
Nifty.
or viewers or both, whatever it is.
It's all up to our fantastic viewers and
Help
listeners.
us add another Campfire Gaming Podcast social site to our list here.
Excellent. You can join us on our Discord. You can have conversations with Justin. Justin's on the Discord.
I'm there a lot, posting random things.
Love it.
It's usually a good time. You can see us argue about dumb things during the conversation, as well as jump into games that we play. We've got a lot of games on there, lots of different variety in games we play. So if you're just looking for people to play with, jump on in. I'm sure somebody will either join you or tell you to bathe with a toaster. One of the two. I don't know how it'll turn out.
Or rub Taco Bell on you.
Ooh, that's the other one.
That's our new meta going around.
What kind of Taco Bell rubbing? Is it like
I don't know.
Are you taking like a hard shell and just like crunching it into you and like getting that exfoliation? Or is it more of like sauces and like
Probably the creamy jalapeno sauce.
Creamy jalapeno sauce.
Quesarito for me.
Where are we putting that creamy jalapeno sauce?
I mean, we could put a taquito someplace. But...
Oh boy.
Is that what we call it, Matt?
Yep.
Good times. Just to kind of kick us off, we're gonna do a quick fire bunch of news here. Throw some things at you hot and fast, just like Matt's Taco Bell goes in and out the same way. Hot and fast.
Yep.
Matt, you want to take it away on just some information, some news, glossy news?
Yes, we'll jump in here. So
The
first
excitement,
off,
I love it.
yeah, first off, we have Hell Let Loose is coming to consoles. We announced that already, but they finally announced a release date. It is October 5th. I think the Campfire crew, we can't stop talking about this. We love this game. Can't recommend it enough. Go play it. This is, I was going to say next gen only, but we got to stop saying next gen because it's current gen.
Yeah, it's current
gen only. It does not support last gen. So just want to throw that out there.
Can you call it current gen? Really?
Yes.
Like there's 7 in the world. Can you really call it
This
next
is
gen?
7th generation only and PC.
No, I mean like there's only 7 PlayStations available like in the world. Like 7 people will
Oh,
play this game.
Yeah.
I'm
The
one of
very
them.
But
The
what about all you
scalpers.
Xbox people?
There's 10. So there's a total of 17 current generation consoles, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, all the scalpers, you guys set up all your PlayStations and Xboxes. You can do 50 versus 50. So, have a lot of fun playing with yourself, as does Chris. Anyways, if you guys love zombies and you love the Switch, you've got 2 games coming up here soon. World War Z is coming November 2nd. Second. This is a great game. I played this. They have their new Aftermath DLC coming in. I believe that's October. Adds
Mhm.
things like first-person shooter and more campaigns.
Matt, when did you play this though? Was that
One
like
more.
eight years ago?
It was ages ago. We played a couple of matches together, if I remember correctly.
I play on PlayStation every now and then with my buddy. We finally beat the final campaign. So yeah. Which one was that? I think it was Japan. Anyways, yeah, it's a good game. Go check it out. Whether you have a Switch or you don't, but it's coming to the Switch on November 2nd. The other zombie game is Dying Light. The release date for that one is someday soon.
I am really interested to see the performance on the Switch.
Yeah.
There was chugging in first party games occasionally, like early Zelda, you'd see it. I really want to see what happens when you're doing like one of those horde fights, towards the end or middle of the level. What does that look like and how well is that going to run?
Right.
Yeah.
For a game that relies upon fast pace, a lot of motion, it's asking a lot of any console.
Well, it's a fun game. So
It is.
hopefully the frame rates don't suck because you guys should all play it that have Switches that haven't played it yet, that have 3 other friends you can play with.
Which one's Dying Light? Okay. There's just so many zombie games.
There's a
There's
lot.
Dying there's
not
Dying
laughing,
Light
like,
and
at
then
you.
there's the one from the Dead Island people,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Okay. And then there's the one that Square does, right? That's also like dying something or something's dying. I don't know.
Dead
Yes.
by
There's so many games.
Daylight.
Dead.
Which one's the
Dying-
parkour?
Yeah, that
Dying
Parkour
one.
is
Light.
Dying Light.
Dying
Okay.
Light.
Okay.
Yep.
I
World War
wasn't-
Z. World War Z is like 3rd-person Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Although now they're adding a first-person mode, so they're going to be like Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dying Light was pretty good. I was a bigger fan of Dead Island, but I just thought the parkour didn't add much to the game. But it was still a fun game if you like zombies, and who doesn't, right? If you're a Skate 4 fan, we still don't know when it's coming. It's still in development, but good news for your PC fans out there. They did say it was going to have a PC release, which will be a first for the franchise. So
And it will only release on PC.
yeah, only PC. Second console. I know it's coming to console too. As Justin called out before we started recording, this podcast absolutely loves Fork Fight. So we wanted to bring you some good news. The Windwalker Echo skin is coming to Fork Fight. This Windwalker Echo is the character that you see in both Unreal Engine 5 tech demos. So if you thought she was pretty cool in both those demos, you can now run around with her skin like Leatherface does.
Gross.
Whoa.
There is a Black Ice tournament coming up soon. Pretty decent sized prize during their grand opening for a Fork Fight tournament. There's a ton of tournaments, but I'm thinking about signing up for the Fork Fight one just because I think that's the only one I could maybe. I don't play it, but it's a shooter, right? Like I've won a few of them back when I did play it, So I think I might sign up for that. We'll see. Will you root me on, Matt, if I do a fork fight tournament, or will you shun me?
Shun you, obviously.
Oh,
Only if you stream
That's
it.
sad.
Yeah. Splitgate is a game we've talked about and Rich absolutely loved. Have you played that one yet, Justin? Splitgate?
It's one of those shooter games, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, one of them shooter games. Yep. Halo meets Portal, as they like to
Yeah.
call it.
No, I have been following this one. The whole Portal twist just definitely has my interest. But I haven't jumped into it yet.
Yep. So this got insanely popular. What was that? The end of July, early August, and they ended up delaying the launch of the game to work on their servers a month. Well, now it's been delayed again, so they can just work on it more. It's super popular. It blew up. So they're like, hey, this needs some more time in the oven. So that's basically in beta for the foreseeable future. So
since you say that, don't you feel like video games should have like the Pizza Hut or the Domino's tracker where it's like telling you where it's at? Like,
yeah, right.
it's in beta right now.
Didn't Steam have that for a while with the pre-release sort of stuff?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think, I mean, in the world of these soft launches or pre-releases that we have now, if your game isn't popular and you have a good roadmap and you keep hitting your stuff, like people are going to keep supporting it. So I don't see this being a bad thing at all.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is, in a way, it's a good delay. They're so popular and people love this so much that they're like, oh shit, we need to go work on our servers and a few other things to help scale it better. So yeah. And a month later, I still haven't gotten around to play it yet. So someday I will. Someday. I know this is a video game podcast, but we're going to talk movies for a second. Top Gun, the new Top Gun was delayed till next year.
Danger Zone.
And how that relates to video games is the fact that Flight Simulators, Top Gun DLC that was going to come is also delayed as well. And they were kind of hinting, I think it was Gamescom, that there's kind of maybe some other little tidbits in there. That's why they didn't show or talk about it as much, is because the movie wasn't out. So I think there's maybe some planes or something in there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you land on an aircraft. I don't know. Something.
I would hope there's planes in flight.
I hope there's like,
Nope.
No planes. That's the twist.
It's actually just you driving a motorcycle the whole time.
playing volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been delayed till May, somewhere around May 2022, because that's when the movie was also delayed. So I'm sure we'll get an official release date at some point. So yeah. There were some updates on Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 for, what are we calling it? 7th generation, current gen. The 17 people that have PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's. CD Projekt Red is still aiming to get those upgraded versions out by the end of the year. They still say they're on track, but they kind of left some wiggle room that it could maybe get delayed.
They were on track for the original release, remember?
Yeah. And it still hasn't been released yet. It's still in beta.
Just like the DLC that we were told that was going to be attached for the games too.
Didn't they release a DLC, but it was like just cosmetic stuff?
Yeah, it's a couple of pieces of, it's like a jacket and a couple of pants or something like that.
Yes.
I hope you had to pay extra for that. Like just another like $30 for a jacket.
I mean, if anything, CD Projekt Red is really good about giving away free DLC. So that's a plus, right? Keep it positive here.
Yep. No, I mean, I hope this comes out like this year, because I bought for like $10 Cyberpunk 2077 from Best Buy the other week when it was super cheap, and I'm hoping that the upgraded version for that will include HDR, ray tracing, 4K, 60 FPS, because I'm playing through Doom Eternal right now and it's gorgeous. So if they do the same type of love to Cyberpunk 2077 for the Series X, I'm excited. So
You are aware that we chose Bastion, not Doom this month, right?
I can play more than one game.
Have you started it
Yeah,
though?
who has time?
No. I've been playing Doom and Uncharted Lost Legacy. So
with the Cyberpunk thing, I know this is kind of quick fire and we're slowly working our way through it. Didn't go as planned, but here, The Witcher 3, when that first came out, I remember it not being super smooth either. And that's why I waited like 2 years before I actually picked it up and played through it. I mean,
Mhm.
one, I could play all the DLC and everything. I still have to finish the Blood and Wine. Like, I'm really close to the end, but by the time that was ready, it's phenomenal. That was one of the
Yeah.
best games I've
Yeah.
played in a long time. So hopefully, as Cyberpunk kind of gets their feet underneath them and they start going again, maybe we'll have the same experience.
This is different, unfortunately.
It hasn't been 2 years. You don't know.
The issues that Witcher 3 had at launch are
You
different.
don't know.
Performance versus like straight
Game.
gameplay is
Yeah.
Content.
That's fair.
Gameplay.
I mean, Mike, it's a great point. Like I do the same thing for just about any open world games anymore. Like Bethesda comes out super buggy, like the way Cyberpunk
What?
hit, like
They're perfect.
so, just don't let the FOMO get you.
And if you're like me, you can wait till like it's 4 or 5 years past its launch, and then I buy it super cheap for PC, and I download an upgrade, like a mod for it that upgraded like all the textures in it, and it looked even better. So, unfortunately, no ray tracing. So, yeah,
We're gonna
bummer.
get that tattooed on you somewhere.
You know what? It's hard to explain. It's hard to show, but when you actually have it running and you can see the difference, it's mind blowing. Anyways, last bit here is Fire Sprite Studio has been acquired by Microsoft. Just kidding. It's Sony this time buying a studio. Fire Sprite is the studio behind the Playroom and the Playroom VR. And I believe I saw somewhere too the game Run, Sackboy Run. I meant to look that up, but I realized I never did. So yeah, so this is their 14th studio, and seems like Sony and Microsoft are in a war to just buy up everything. So
Nintendo's gobbling up studios too. I think we're just going to slowly see them all fit under the 3 umbrellas of the larger scale stuff.
mhm.
I think the winner is whoever gets Sega. Whoever can grab that and be like, "You're ours."
Wonder if do you think they'll let us buy them?
Yeah.
Do you think we could get a business loan for, I don't know, what are they? Maybe they can only be like $100,000, right? You know, it's
For
not like they're a
Sega?
big company. 100 million, 100 billion, 8 billion.
4.9 billion.
Yeah,
that their current
we can get a business loan for $5 billion. No big deal.
I'm kind of surprised that this studio wasn't already owned by Sony.
Yeah, I was a little
surprised
thought
by
they
that
already
too.
were. Yeah.
What was the other one they recently acquired as well? And I was surprised. It's like, oh, I think they just had a lot of studios for a while. You know, Insomniac was another one of those, right? Like
Yep.
they were second party, right? They've had so many good second party studios for years, but now they're kind, they're buying them up, and it's like, oh, those were second party, not first party. Yeah, but
I agree with you, Mike. I think that we're going to see these just 3 big umbrellas, but I think this is me stepping out of my comfort zone. I think Microsoft sort of has the leg up because they seem more flexible to release things they're producing under other people's systems. So
Except
take.
for
Yeah, I
Elder
think-
Scrolls.
I think I mean, those will probably stay with Microsoft, but I think Microsoft is also a little bit more lenient than Sony or Nintendo on like giving the freedom to the studios to continue to do the way they do things. Nintendo, they're so protective of at least their IP, so any studio working on anything with their mainstay pieces, they're going to be scrutinized at every level, like with Prime 4, just nope, you guys are done, sorry. Whereas Microsoft is kind of like, okay, you failed, cool, Halo, but we'll let you try and fix it. We're going to let you do your own thing. And I don't know which other studio they may have had that with, but they seem to be like if you look at Psychonauts, right? Like Tim Schafer and that whole area, they're like, you continue to do your thing.
Mhm.
We're not going to encroach on it. But I feel like Sony is going to start, the more that they own these studios, the more they're going to be more hands-on with it. And I worry about the quality of the games when it's one vision kind of pushing out everything. So
Especially when that vision seems to be, how do we keep sequelizing all our properties as opposed to coming out with a new thing every now and then?
We had a discussion way back about what was that motorcycle zombie game? I'm blanking on it right now.
God damn,
Days Gone.
Yep.
Days Gone. That was kind of when we talked about them and them not being able to make Days Gone 2, like that was some of the rumored stuff going on is like, oh, this didn't make them billions of dollars like, you know, Last of Us or Horizon or something like that. So that's why they weren't given the chance to make a sequel because, well, you know, whatever. All Sony wanted, again, from the kind of rumored reports and stuff, was we just want these big blockbuster games. And yeah, so I think that's the kind of worry with Sony. I mean, they haven't really failed too bad yet with their actual tentpole. Obviously, Days Gone was, I think, one they were hoping for that didn't go as planned. But I mean, like all their other ones, your Horizons, your Uncharted's. I'm not a fan of Last of Us, but you know that's obviously done very well. You know, they're gonna keep doing it as long as it works until they get a Last of Us 3 or was it Horizon Forbidden West or whatever, and it just sucks. You know, once they get the EA thing happen to them, right? You know, there was Dragon Age, Anthem, and Mass Effect, and then they're all like, "Oh shit, maybe we got to do something a little different right now."
I mean, go ahead, Mike.
Nope, I was gonna make a dumb comment. You got something way better, I'm sure.
We saw this a handful of years ago too, with when the Tomb Raider reboots were coming out. Square came out and was like, "These aren't making any money," and they were selling gangbusters, right? But they weren't setting expectations in. So I mean, I think it's looking at the market, and I don't know. Sony's got such a market share in the previous console generation. I think they overestimate sometimes.
Well, there was a former Sony exec that said that he estimates the average cost of a Sony, like a God of War, around $200 million is how much it costs to make it.
And 3/4 of that goes into marketing.
Probably.
Yeah. We will see. We will see. That's it for what was supposed to be quick. Those last few were a little longer.
Yeah, that's all right. We had a good conversation.
I mean, if Mike would have just wrapped it, it would have been like
it would have been would have been so much faster.
What is the Game Pass monthly charge again?
For the
depends on Ultimate's
Just
15.
Ultimate, yeah.
15.
Ultimate.
Or you could just cancel it like I do, and then they're like, "Come back for $1." I'm like,
Nice.
"What?" Okay.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Good to know. I'll keep that on
So
my radar.
just looking at that, you know, what you're saying about the cost to make games. Game Pass, you know, 23 million subscribers. If I did the math right, that's $345 million a month.
That sounds about right.
That's a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Game Pass makes them boatloads of money.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing that people used to criticize Netflix and everything else like in the early aughts too, is like, oh, it's one of those things you subscribe to and then you forget to unsubscribe. And yep.
It's been great for book club, to be honest. Like, if people are playing along with that, we do try and find games, you know, as we're looking at them, we do focus a little bit more on, you know, what is the easiest way to get your hands on this game to make it accessible for everybody. So it is super bonus for that. But
so my Alan Wake suggestions are not going to hit then because it was just taken off.
I'm still on board for that 100%.
I think
I want to play it. We just need. Well, why don't we talk about that next?
Is that going to be here for the holiday, like for the Halloween era?
Rumors would imply yes, but there's no firm.
Like, is it gonna? I wonder if it'll drop on like a spooky day instead of it being like early October.
Well, let's not keep our listeners in the dark. Alan Wake Remastered was announced.
It's a dark game. We stay in the dark.
Mike's the host. He controls when we talk about it.
No, yep. Go ahead, Matt. Bring us through Alan Wake.
Mike, can I talk about Alan Wake?
No, we're gonna talk about Quake. It rhymes with Alan.
Alan Quake. Alan Quake Remaster. No, the Quake Remaster was announced a few weeks ago. Yes, the game from, what was it, 1996? Will now support 4K 120 FPS. Like, insane. 25-year-old game.
Do you think Fatality is going to come back out and be like, look at my Quake skills and just wreck everybody in there?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever played this game. I don't know if I did. I did because I didn't have a computer in '96.
I
I think all I had was a Game Boy and a Game Gear.
I did have a computer. My neighbor let me borrow the disc to try to install it, and my computer was not up to snuff. It wouldn't even let me install it. That's how not up to it was.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's coming. It'll feature the original soundtrack from the Nine Inch Nails frontman, Trent Reznor. If I said that name right, I don't know. I butcher names. It's also coming with the Dimensions of the Past DLC, as well as a new experience called Dimension of the Machine. So not only is it getting 4K 120 FPS, it's also getting new DLC. Who cares about a new Quake game? Let's just remaster a 25-year-old
Does
one.
anyone care about a new Quake game?
I don't know, but what everybody should care about is the 211th re-release of Skyrim, because that's what we're getting.
But this one's a special one. This one's the
This is a
anniversary.
different one.
Yeah,
All the rest were like game of the year, or you know,
they took all the mods
Special
that other people
edition.
made and made it part of the game that they're going to make money off of.
Does this just come to friggin' Game Pass for Xbox users too? Are
Probably.
we just gonna
I'll
get
bet
this
you.
version? I mean, instead of going out and buying it for PlayStation.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Are you
what
gonna
I'm-
have to,
Go for it.
are you gonna have to buy it again?
I
Are they going to be a free upgrade? Like,
I think if you have Game Pass, you're just going to get it. If you don't have Game Pass, yeah, I haven't heard of an upgrade path to
It's
pick up this game.
just the special edition version. If you own the special edition, you will get the upgrade. If you
Oh, there it
don't,
is.
you don't get it.
I
Just-
have the launch version, so I don't get any of the cool
No.
stuff.
no fishing for you.
Except for they added all of these user mods, so I could just install the user mods.
Yeah, basically, that's all
All
you
it
got to do.
good. Okay.
Is there fishing in the user mods?
Yeah. That's where it came
Probably. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Here I was thinking like they did like something cool and like, okay, I don't know why you would add fishing. Would you catch mud crabs? Cool. But like,
from. Yeah, they're pretty
or, like,
shallow
oh
streams.
God, what were those fish? The murder fish or whatever they are. Slaughterfish.
Yep, slaughterfish.
Slaughterfish. I was close with murderfish. Maybe they should change it. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer because we're not going to get, the new Elder Scrolls for quite some time, but they're sitting here still spinning their wheels on the 50th edition of Skyrim.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
handful of people they have developing that, can we shift them to, 6?
They're
I
working
don't
on
know.
Starfield.
Oh, right. Yeah, never
Who
mind. I
cares
want
about
that out
Starfield
first.
anymore. Starfield is not going to be, just based on everything that's said, everything that's seen, it's not going to be like an Elder Scrolls
It
in
doesn't need
space.
to be. It's
It
in
does
space.
too, damn it. No. Okay, so the closest thing that we got to an Elder Scrolls in space was that
Outer World.
Outer Worlds, yeah, and that was a blast.
Yeah,
Imagine
That
what
was
a like
super
real,
linear.
it was.
Yeah, I
very
know,
linear.
but imagine what a team that builds things like Skyrim can do with that kind of a game.
Sure.
You could make something super duper cool, and if you can visit other planets and solar systems and
No Man's Sky?
space stations,
Like
I was
No
going to
Man's
basically
Sky,
say
yeah.
we're about to talk about that
but
game.
that game also sucks. So like,
Ooh.
it does. What do you do in that game? Fly around. That's it. You can't go talk to a guy and he tells you about the arrow in his knee. Does he? No. Nobody tells you about arrows or like lasers.
Well, I
to the
mean,
knee.
in Mike's defense, yeah, no one talks about the arrow in their knee, but you can talk to people.
There's probably an Easter egg somewhere.
That
There's got to be.
probably is.
I
Or a mod.
It's
would've
procedurally
preferred-
generated, so it might be in their elbow.
That's fair. I really wish that it was, the talent was being put on those games anyways. Whether or not Starfield's going to suck is still up for debate. But
But see,
It's so far away.
we've had this discussion, I think, with a lot of these remasters, remakes, and stuff. It's like, would you rather have a new iteration of the game, a sequel, a prequel, or interquel, or do you just want the remastered game? In this case, what, the third time, fourth time?
I
What
was
are we on
gonna
now?
say, I feel like this
Right?
game, it's a little bit different because we do just keep getting it again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
if there was more like stuff to do, like
Mhm.
new content, new quests, new like a story mode, like Oblivion ended up getting that like Knights of the Round Table expansion at some point. That was a blast. Give us something like that.
Or
Give us just
Shivering
a
Isles.
small, Shivering Isles was amazing.
Oh, Shivering
Give
Isles
us
is
a
so
like if
good.
you're gonna put an upgrade to it, why don't you give us a little more content too? Just
Well, I
it's all there, right?
unless it happened in the last couple of days, they haven't announced what is coming with the content from the Creation Club, other than fishing. So them supporting that and bringing, I think, a lot of those popular ones from the Creation Club into the game. I'm not familiar with a lot of that stuff, but I imagine there's other quests and areas and other improvements that maybe. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it and report it as that information comes in.
Was Skyrim the one that like Sony was saying they were going to support user mods or some? There was one of the open world games that they were trying to get like the Nexus hub hooked in so you could get user mods into one of the started getting them in the console games. I don't remember. Is that Fallout maybe?
I think Fallout 4 had a lot of support.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think
For that.
Elder Scrolls.
But then they
came
pulled
first.
it, right?
Yeah. Well, I know what I remember what you're talking about. I don't remember the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. I think Fallout 4 had support for consoles, but I don't know if it was all, like, or just PlayStation and Xbox, or if it was just one. I don't know. Is now a good time to say I've never really played Skyrim or Fallout? How's this? Let's broaden it. Elder Scrolls or Fallout?
So it looks like it was for Fallout 4 and Skyrim, and Sony pulled it because they were just blindly approving mods that should work versus do they actually work and what do they really do to your games. So because it was a little too free for all, they yanked it. Sad day.
Bummer.
You guys ready to move on to Mech Warriors? Get away from the Skyrim stuff?
Always.
Why? Okay, so Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, September 23rd. It's like a re-release. Is that what this is?
It's
Why don't
it's
they
first
take-
time release of Mercenaries 5 on PlayStation, but it's a 2-year-old game,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
3-year-old
okay.
game.
I got
Is
you.
it 3? Damn, it's been out on
Do you
PC
know what?
forever.
I have another rant about maybe they should do different games things. Why not a Steel Battalion 2? Re-release like the hardware, because that was a ton of
Wasn't
fun.
that $200?
Yeah, I had
it
it.
was.
It was so much.
But
I
now
borrowed
I
it to
can
somebody,
afford that. So yeah,
and
let's
it's just
do that.
gone.
There was a Steel Battalion 2,
I
and I
was
bet
gonna
you
say I
didn't buy
swear
it.
there was.
I want a new Steel Battalion, like a Steel Battalion 3. Like new generation, gaming setups have become so much more cool. Make it a PC thing
With
and
the
just
eject button,
super cool. Yeah.
you can
Otherwise,
you
it'll
can
lose your
buy.
save.
They can team up with like Secret Labs or something like that, and put one of those. You've seen it on YouTube where they put the airbags onto like tires or whatever, and people sit down and blow it up. Right? They can team up with Secret Labs to put one of those in
my
your seat,
God.
and when you hit the
Just
eject
blow
button,
you out of your chair.
not only does it eject you from your mech and save your save file, but it also shoots you up into your ceiling or wherever.
I was thinking they could go more VR with it.
That'd
right?
be cool.
If I don't know how you technologically map out the controller so that you can still see it, where it's supposed to be, and where all the buttons are and things like
Shouldn't be
that.
hard.
But yeah, I wouldn't think so. That would be the coolest thing ever, just to put yourself into. Because I remember at the arcades back when I was little, jumping into the whole like construct. You've got the pedals, you've got the like arm things, and the chair kind of slides around. And it's just this big screen, right? Do that with VR. Give us a better Mech Warrior than a re-release of something. That's going to be this whole episode. Let's get a better than re-release. Do better.
I think mech games for VR make complete sense. I mean, it has the limited mobility of the body to the suit, right? So you're always just sitting anyway in your mech for the most part.
Yep.
I think it makes total sense. I never hear anyone talk about those.
Let's make a Gundam one. That'd be super cool.
That one I might vomit. Maybe a Zone of
I was
Enders
gonna say
one.
it's a lot more motion, but okay.
It's Zone of Enders would be a good one to go into. I remember playing the crap out of that game. That'd be another cool one to make a VR.
I think there's a PlayStation VR Zone of Enders, if I
Ooh.
remember.
Might have to look into that.
But yeah, Mech Warrior is a great series, and it's been around for ages.
Oh my god, forever.
I don't think I've played since like Mech Warriors 2.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
2
was,
was the last one.
you know.
I'd played some of 5. 5 is pretty good so far. Played it on both PC and Xbox, and yeah, plays pretty well.
Well, now you can play it on your PlayStation 5.
Perfect.
Yay.
I haven't had to pay for it yet, though, so I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Are you friends with the other 6 people that have PlayStation 5s?
We have a special chat group.
Well, you could play with them, I think is what
Yeah.
Matt's getting at.
Oh yeah.
Well,
fair enough.
you can also do cross-play with other console, like the Xbox and PC. So it's pretty cool.
They don't know I play on Xbox. We can't tell them. Please don't.
You play with your other 6 PlayStation 5 friends on your Series X. Oh, fun.
Well, Chris, here's your chance. Tell me about No Man's Sky.
It's 5 years old now.
Thanks for the update, Chris.
Yep.
And on to the next game.
No, they got another what is it? Their 17th update or something like that. That adds settlements to the game. The game just keeps getting bigger and bigger for something that kind of fell on its face at launch. You can do so much now.
Like get in your ship and fly it.
Yeah, you can still do that. Yeah, but now you can actually do it with friends if you want to.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can they ride in your ship?
No.
They can, if you have a freighter, they can come
they
to
can
your
join
freighter.
your freighter. Yeah, I guess that's true.
So yeah, you have multiple different types of ships. You can build robots. You can build land buggies. You can. I mean, I think there's a submarine one.
Yeah,
too.
I'm still really bad at building underwater. It never goes well for me.
Do they have like dogfights and stuff? Can you spaceship fight with other
Oh, yeah.
people? Okay, that's good.
Yep, it's gotten so much better. It's so pretty, and it's finally got positive overall review on Steam, which has been forever in the making.
It was funny seeing that come out, and I was like, oh, that's great. Like, I've appreciated No Man's Sky for what it was trying to do. Like, starting with a 10-man team and getting to where it is now, like,
It's so crazy.
it was crazy.
Sony's overhyping of the game is what ultimately hurt it.
And
because-
even Sony said that was
Yeah.
a mistake.
But no, this was a game, unfortunately, I played, I think, a few months after it launched, and it was like fun, but never went out and bought it. I should probably go get it now because it's positive. I was waiting for it to have positive reviews on Steam, obviously. So
Well, and good news for you, Matt. It's also on Game Pass.
I think when we were talking about Cyberpunk earlier, like No Man's Sky is exactly what popped into my head, right?
Mhm.
Fell on its face at launch after, they kept sticking with it and developing it, and they were great to the fan base that was appreciating it, and it's showing now.
Yeah, considering none of these updates have cost the user anything, it's just mind
all been
blowing what's
free.
changed. Yeah.
So it says you can help settlements grow.
Mhm.
Can you also like make them fail and just shut them down? Slowly
I
deplete the settlement.
Suppose you could. I haven't gotten into that update yet, so I have to
You
get.
should just see if you can wreck an entire planet's economy.
Yeah.
Just
Can Mike get a huge like Death Star type ship and just play
Ooh.
Grand Moff Tarkin? Fire when ready.
I do have a couple of different saves. I could try to ruin one of them for you if you want. I'm fine with that.
Do it. Record it. Put it up on YouTube.
All right.
And you have to say commence primary ignition.
Okay.
We're
don't-
here.
For the structures that I've seen in the game previously, I don't think you could actually, once they even added the terrain manipulation, I don't think you could destroy them in any way still.
Boo.
That's true. There wasn't any. Yeah, even when terrain manipulation just worked around the structures and never affected them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if that's changed at all. I don't think so.
Sorry, Mike.
I feel like I have to go to Steam and give it a negative review until that works. Until I can destroy. Well, we've
I
landed.
I can't play it until there's ray tracing. So
I think there
This is
isn't
true.
there.
I think there's
Is there-
been
is
ray
there ray
tracing. Yeah. Now you have to play it.
Yep. Now I have to. Game Pass and has ray tracing.
It's got all your buzzwords.
Because it's got a Series X version, so
Can you be Master Chief?
probably with
you,
mods.
You can
yes.
get really close with some of the outfits. Yes, ray
Yeah.
tracing is enabled on the Series X.
Okay, there you go. Well, it's fun podcasting, guys. I'm gonna go play.
See you later, Matt. We'll talk about Alan Wake without you.
It's fine. I'm more than
I
happy.
thought it was
It's
Alan Quake.
Alan Quake,
the prequel to Control,
the
otherwise known as.
interquel.
It took place way before it.
No, Control is the interquel.
Oh,
God. Anyways, Alan Wake remaster is coming. I'm excited for this. I have not played it. This has been one that I've literally had like downloaded on my computer forever, just haven't started. Mostly because I was going to do it this year sometime, and I'm like, it'll make a good book club game, but we haven't picked it yet. So
I
maybe
scrubbed
that's
through.
our October one if the remaster comes out.
I scrubbed through some video on it just to kind of see what it was like after playing Control. Again, Control not a bad game. I just had some significant issues when we played through it.
Mike hated it. Yep.
I didn't hate it. Did I say that I hated that one? What was
no.
what did I
Yep,
pick
you had about
for
a
being the no. We picked like our least favorite game book club game in our 100th episode. Did I say Control? Did I throw Control?
I think you said any game that Chris picks.
Yeah,
That's
I was going to
worse.
say, I know it was a game I picked.
No. I think everybody picked a game Chris picked.
Yes, that's
But-
also true.
I think including Chris. But no, like this reminds me a lot closer to like a Silent Hill maybe
Yeah,
than
It plays a
than
lot like
what
that.
Control was. It looks like you're walking around with a flashlight for the most part, occasional combat stuff, some unique situations, things like that. So I think I would have a better go at this.
Mhm.
And I'd be more willing to play it. So I think I would like the remaster to play it though. I don't want to go back and play
Yeah.
yeah. At this
Same.
point,
old and busted. I want new and shiny.
It's on piece. It's on Steam now. And it looks pretty good there.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not going to be the remastered quality.
I bet you the remaster is going to have Say with me.
volumetric lighting.
ray tracing.
Volumetric lighting.
Nice.
No, if this comes out, this was a suggestion by Justin as a book club game. So if it's out, if they put a release date to it, when this was first a rumor, they placed it at the first week of October when it was going to come out. But when they officially announced it, there's no release date, so we don't know when this is coming out. But if it comes out in time to be our spooky game for the year for the book club, I'd be down to play it.
I don't
So-
tend to make a whole lot of time to go back and replay games, but Alan Wake is one I would totally go back
It's
and do.
one of my all-time favorites. I love the game from start to finish.
So it sounds like the remake. We don't have a whole lot of information on it. What consoles did they say this was coming to? PC, PlayStation, Xbox.
It's an Epic Game Store exclusive
Yeah.
to start,
For how long?
and then Xbox and PlayStation.
Well, Epic is actually publishing the remaster, so
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
could hold on to
Longer
it for
than
a-
just October.
Yeah,
I'm not giving them money. This is
So-
not our spooky game.
yeah. And I'm gonna guess it. I wouldn't be shocked to see it end up being one of the free games Epic ends up giving away during the holiday season or something.
And Alan Wake, I mean, like the whole setting and everything is spooky, and he's a horror writer, and like that's spooky, but like it's not a super spooky game
No.
all in all. So I mean, it's got like the themes and the setting, but it's
Well,
more of an
the-
action game.
It's kind of like
It
a
doesn't
Twin
have-
the
Peaks,
dark.
X-Files kind of thing, more
Yeah.
so than a really spooky game.
Yeah.
And as for picking like a spooky game for our book club, it doesn't have to be this like Resident Evil Biohazard where we're seeing your hand get chopped off and,
Oh,
and
God, so many
dead
times.
dead children or whatever was when you walked into that one house. And yeah,
Go back
Yeah.
and play Fear or something.
Jeez, man, I haven't
that's
thought
been
about that game.
forever.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I
Um,
don't know. It was iffy on that game.
Unfair.
Yeah.
I remember the first one was good. don't think I played any after that because they
played
got
the
more
second one.
action focused. Yeah. Can't do Dead Space because that's getting remastered. Yeah. Gotta wait for that. And the
Wait
ray
for next
tracing.
year.
Yeah, the ray tracing. Yeah. Exactly. We're on the
That's
same
another
page,
one.
Justin.
I would 100% go back and replay Dead Space. Is one of my all-time favorite franchises. Even with like 2 and 3, they had 3 had its issues, but it was a great co-op experience actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Speaking
one
of
of the
spooky,
things- I was gonna say one of the things I want to point out with Alan Wake is that we did see the Epic Game Store thing, the Xbox and PlayStation, with no mention of Nintendo Switch. But if I recall, it's Virtuoso doing the remaster. Is that who's doing the remaster for this?
I think you're correct.
They're pretty well known for Switch ports, if I also recall correctly. So I think that we could probably guess that we could get a Switch version of this pretty easily if they're the ones doing it. Because I think they did XCOM 2, Bioshock, and Outer Worlds. So it wouldn't be too hard for them, I think, to do this. And I think why we haven't heard it yet is because of that direct that we're still waiting on.
Yeah.
I think it was going to be one of those things that they were going to announce in there potentially. It's like a surprise, but we don't
with
get it.
with Game Pass coming to Switch.
Oh yeah, on the Switch Pro that comes out in March.
Yep.
I haven't heard them say no yet. That there's not going to be one in March, so it'll be there.
Even in April, Mike will still insist it's coming in March.
I could say it's coming tomorrow every single day.
Yep.
It's always tomorrow.
I'm Team Switch Pro, so hashtag.
I saved the article I wrote.
Hashtag. Yeah.
I'll be able to wave it in everyone's face.
Another game from 2011 that does deserve a remaster.
Go on.
Is Alice Madness Returns.
Just gonna steal that from Justin. He even set it up, teed it up nicely, and you're just gonna stomp on it.
Yep.
That's what we do here. We stomp on our special guests.
It's all good. It's all good.
I just give him a hard time. He deserves it.
So I don't know who this Alice American McGee guy is. I remember when the first game came out, I'm like, why is it American McGee's Alice? I couldn't put it together. I sort of looked into it. I mean, I think this came out in high school, so early 2000s.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
And man, that game was a trip. Love that game. Second one, not so much. First one, good stuff.
First one was 2000.
2000, yep, October, I think.
So you didn't like Madness Returns? I'll be honest, that's the only one I've played. Because at that point, Alice was hard to find and 11 years old. So, yeah.
I think I might have my disc somewhere still.
If it helps anyone out, American McGee was one of the devs behind with the id Software team that made Doom and everything and brought us John Romero. So a whole bunch of personalities came out of that little fun house. He's just another one of them.
Well, the reason we're talking about American McGee's Alice and Alice Madness Returns is because it sounds like he's working on the third iteration of the game called Alice Asylum. He's got a rough script written, and if you go to support him on Patreon, you can get access to it. Or if you probably just Google it, somebody probably has a PDF somewhere.
It's probably on Reddit somewhere.
I'm kind of excited. Again, I've had this Madness Returns I really enjoyed it when I played. Again, I didn't play the first one, so nothing to compare it to. But it was weird, and I liked it. And I've had this weird itch to go back and play it again. And I realized when I looked at my Xbox 360 case, it also came with a free copy of Alice, just American McGee's Alice, on the disc. So if I felt like playing both, I could. So, because I don't think either of them are on Steam. Or maybe it's just the first one's not on Steam. So
I'm not sure.
And I don't have the disc like you do, Justin. But
Yeah, I mean, the second one was still good. I think the story just fell short from the first one for me personally. But I mean, after your guys' recent go at Psychonauts, I think these sort of old school platformers might not be your jam.
I think it's not good on keyboard and mouse. Like if it's got controller support, it was so much better. But
yeah. No, I'd play again, probably because it'd be the easiest to find places to play. I'd play Madness Returns for a book club. It was weird. It was fun. And yeah, Psychonauts was probably while I was playing. Yeah, it was while I was playing Psychonauts. Going, Alice would be fun to go back and play again. So, yeah. No, the only information we have about this is there's a kind of a rough script on what the story will be for the third iteration. I don't know. Maybe this. Well, let's use our new scale. Do you guys think this will be out before or after Elder Scrolls 6?
I think we get.
I'm going after because this guy does not have a great history of getting his games out in a timely manner.
That's valid.
I'm pretty sure that we get Halo co-op after Elder Scrolls 6, so this will also be after.
I have this weird feeling that a month or two after that launch of Halo Infinite, we're gonna get a delay in co-op. It's just a weird feeling. I hope I'm wrong.
I would not be surprised if we get a delay in the campaign entirely, and we just get multiplayer.
So we're getting into this, okay? So I think
I was hoping we don't avoid this.
We don't need sad Matt again.
No, I think they had a lot of commitments to, and that's a big reason why they're pushing this out in December.
So
think pushing a year. I mean, we already had some of the food and stuff because you couldn't delay that a year, right? We got the Doritos and Mountain Dew or whatever last year, right? You're not going to hold that back for a year. But like we just saw headsets and consoles and keyboards and mice and other toys, and we saw dinner sets at Walmart. Like people are not going to keep that in their warehouses, you know. I think there's marketing commitments and partnership commitments. But anyways, so that's all I need to say about Halo. We can move on.
Well, I'm going to throw a little fuel on that fire. On our Discord, I've been talking about Microsoft Rewards a few times. So, and of course, I have the app for it. And it shows upcoming games that are coming out. And let's see if I can make this work for you guys. You might notice it only lists a particular
Halo multiplayer.
Yep, it does not list Halo Infinite itself.
Why is there a Mr. Yuck on it?
That's what I saw too. I think it's the Xbox X.
No, it's
that was a face. That was
one of your friends, or
it's one of my friends that has it.
Face?
It's the Minecraft creeper.
I'm just gonna say I saw Mr. Yuck right next to the Halo multiplayer. That about sums it up.
All right, let's move on to some happier things.
Do you want to jump right into Destiny 2, Matt, and just keep this sadness train rolling, and then me and Justin will take us out on a happy note with the Nintendo?
Sure, if you want. Do you want me to jump into Destiny stuff?
I mean, some of this Destiny stuff looks pretty good. It might not be super sad. So
it's sad a little bit to me.
I've heard enough of Matt. We'll jump into some Nintendo stuff.
Okay. I'll go play No Man's Sky while you play.
Which I actually think this next piece of news here, or this rumor here, you might actually have some opinion on, Matt, because you did have these. So it sounds like potentially with the Switch Online that a new console or potentially 3 new consoles are coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service. The ones that are currently best guessed rumor is the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. Hopefully, they drop more than 2 games. Like, if we get a Game Boy Color and 2 games, garbage.
I do have a problem with this news right now. Are the Game Girl games coming as well, or just the Game Boy? Anyways, enough distraction.
They prefer Game They or Game Them.
The Game Girl was a real thing, though.
Was it?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I think it was just a pink.
Are you mixing this up with the Game Gear?
No. Nintendo Game Girl. I think it was just a pink Game Boy.
Don't believe you.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's move on with the real news.
The Game Girl Color. Holy crap. I think it came with specifically the Barbie Game Girl game, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just trying to get.
So
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to be excited for this. I am excited, but the Nintendo Switch Online catalogs haven't been super great. Like they launched with some of the big hitters, but their licensing for the follow-ups have been really obscure titles. So like the hopes, right, that we get like Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, like these really awesome games that are really hard to track down. Like we're not going to get Pokemon on these services. We're not going to get
We
like,
could up front. I think if we did get one, like get any Pokemon, it'll be with the initial launch. Like we get a blue or a red or something like that right up front. But beyond that, we're not going to see another.
we're going to get things like Wario's Woods. And they're great games. I mean, a good chunk of my childhood was on my Game Boy and my Game Boy Color, and I have a special place for like really hard games like the Kid Icarus game or Krusty's Funhouse. Like those games are impossible and they're still a blast.
Yep. But they're not first party Nintendo, so it's going to be extremely difficult to ever see something like that get on there. So
yeah,
my hope is that they go all the way to GBA and not just the originals, because I don't think there's enough to sustain releases on the Game Boy side. Also, they've only done so many releases with the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo part. Like they have slowed down so bad on that since they first started. I just really don't know how much more value we're going to get out of a Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Like with Game Boy Advance, you get things. I don't know. Was Golden Sun, was that a Square or was that a Nintendo published game? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I mean, yeah, the Game Boy Advance, if we get up to there's some amazing games. Like they re-released Lunar on the Game Boy Advance at one point.
Yep.
Golden Sun, like you said. There's some Mana games. There's I think there's a Tony Hawk game on the Game Boy Advance that was pretty good.
Yep.
But we're not gonna get any of the stuff like that.
There's you get things like we've already got Super Mario World, so it doesn't matter. But you get like the Metroid Fusion. There's some Zelda games that would be great for it. Castlevania's there. I think there are some Donkey Kong titles. Fire Emblem titles would be great to see come out on that.
Fire Emblem, I could actually see going on there. Like, I don't think we're gonna get a bunch of the big first party. Like, I would love to see Mario and Luigi. I don't think we're gonna get it though. Like,
it's probably going to be a lot like when they did those retro consoles, the Nintendo, the NES and the SNES, and everybody was doing them. Like you get 2 or 3, like, oh yeah, these are good, but then you're like, well, where's this game and where's this game? Yeah, and you have the other, like, you get like 30-40 games, but 5 of them really only matter because the other ones are just obscure, whatever.
And they might be good, they might be great, but they're not the ones you're excited to see pop up.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible some of these titles were huge in Japan? Like,
oh, for sure.
Like Claymates or like some other dumb. That's the only one I can think of right now off the top of my head.
Twinbee.
Yeah. Like, I just wonder if those were super big in Japan and that's why they're getting them, or that's why we're getting these releases.
And they're also not re-releasing things that have come out on previous versions of the Virtual Console, right? So like, it's like, if you saw them previously and they were not Nintendo owned, they probably aren't coming back. So I don't think we'll get the good Castlevanias on the GBA, because I think Namco or Konami is doing I think they're doing a GBA collection. There was a rumor for that. So I think we're going to see things like that instead, people owning their own stuff instead of putting it in these types of services.
Oh well.
Fingers crossed, though. I'm optimistic, and I hope that we get these awesome things, or at least 4 or 5 of them, right?
Yep, agreed. I would like to remain optimistic. I just, with the past that we've seen, I don't know. I just don't see it.
For sure.
Some Pokemon news. These things came out a little while ago. There was a Pokemon Presents a few weeks back. We're just getting to it now because we've had so much kind of going on.
We had book club, we had Gamescom, and some of this news. Yeah, just we're here now covering it.
Has anybody else played Pokemon Unite?
MOBA is not a genre of my choice.
Yeah,
Chris,
you don't have
tell
a
us
Switch,
about
so
it.
I know. It'll
Well,
be
it's good
coming
news.
to mobile.
Yeah,
so
now
you
he
can
can play
it with.
It's still a MOBA.
But you can play it with Switch users, so you and I could play it together.
Should we do a book club game? This will be our
Yeah.
December game.
I don't think we get, like, you could play 2 matches and have it down. Like, that's about it. You'd know everything about it. So some new Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Unite. It is also coming to mobile on the 22nd of this month. So not too far away, you'll be able to play the mobile edition. I believe there were some ties to, if enough people pre-register, there will be some prizes given to those who are registered for it or are already playing it. With the Switch version, if you jump on there now, what is his name? The yellow kitty puppy thing.
Lillipup?
No, Zamanzato or Zamanzenta.
Cat dog.
Zamazenta.
No, not that guy.
Cat
That's the shield guy. What the heck is his name? He's a yellow Pokemon cat. Electric.
Oh, that
cat.
mythic one. Yeah.
Pokemon. This guy. What is your name? Please give me a name. Zeraora.
Zeraora. Yeah.
If you jump into the Switch version now, you can get a free Zeraora. He's actually kind of fun to play. So it's not like they're just giving you a cheapy, crappy character. He's fast. He does a lot of damage. He's a little difficult to play, but he is fun if you get him going. Also coming soon, Mamoswine and Sylveon. I am excited for Sylveon just because I'm one of those guys that likes evolutions pretty much. It should have been Umbreon, but hey, it's not a perfect world. We'll take the fairy type. So.
And I think since this direct, we've also learned that Blastoise is coming out, correct?
Oh, yep. That did kind of just pop out. I wonder why that wasn't part of the direct, like the Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Presents.
Blastoise was in a data mine before even these two were announced. Everyone knew about it too, so it was really weird when it wasn't announced during the direct.
Those data miners are ruining a lot of games recently. What was the other one I was like reading about? Where it's just, I think Destiny's been hit by it. I think Halo is one of them. Like just a bunch of games, just data miners get in there and ruin everybody's day.
It is really weird because you do get like Charmander. You get a Pikachu in there to start with, and then you get a Bulbasaur. So I don't know why he wasn't there to start with. Like, it's kind of weird just not to have him. And some of the other choices that they chose to put in there, like Lucario is in there, but you don't get to start as his pre-evolution, which I am blanking on. But
Railu.
Yeah, Riolu, something like that. Yeah. So you don't even start as him; you're just automatically Lucario. But yeah, it's a great game. If you like MOBAs, I think it's a light MOBA, so you don't have to buy items in the middle of the battle. You choose your upgrades right there in the heat of the moment of what you want to use. And it's just a limited selection. You get 2 or 3 picks. You know, it's not very heavy. So
and it's a hard 10-minute round too, isn't it? Unlike League, which would go longer.
Yep, it is 10 minutes per match, and that's about it. They do have a ranked mode after you hit like level 6 or 7, but it's a good time. I've been enjoying it.
I might have to try this because both times I've tried playing other MOBAs, I didn't have a good time because one group in HOTS and another group in League of Legends took me in ranked matches, and then I sucked, and everybody shit on me in chat.
We tried to help you with Heroes of the Storm. We tried. I don't know that there was any help for you.
Oh, ouch.
I think what the hard part was for that is, you know, trying to understand where your character plays and like how to follow everything that's going on the map and when things start to shift from you're kind of going solo or with a partner to like when team engagements are happening and when you should be hopping in, when you shouldn't be hopping in, things like that. There's a lot of little pieces of strategy, which is a lot of fun in Pokemon Unite because you can tell, you know, there are kids that are playing it that are much younger than myself. So you could tell they don't necessarily know when to jump in to a team battle, and they just jump in on a 5-on-1. And you're like, yes, I'm gonna wreck you.
Mike just like stomping little kids.
That's the best part.
Oh boy.
He's on. Is there a public chat? You're just there shit talking some kids.
No,
Just
There's
that's
no
the other thing is
chat.
There's no chat. You can't.
yeah.
It's all pre-built text messages. So if you want, none of it's like derogatory, none of it's mean. It's all like
Yeah.
teamwork, team boosting, and communication pieces. So I do like that because that was some of the worst. Like even in HOTS, people were just like telling Matt
Vile.
to basically like kill himself every other match. To like get like uninstall the game and go jump
Yeah.
out your patio window. It was like, jeez.
And what was the best part was I was trying to pay attention to you and Cullen. Trying to figure out how the game. So I wasn't even completely ignoring the chat because I'm just trying to work with you guys. Anyways, back to
Me and-
Pokemon. I had a bad experience. Not completely my fault, but yes.
No.
When you get
it's-
your Switch, it'll be the first thing you can install.
There you go.
that OLED model pre-orders coming soon.
I'll tell you. We'll get to it, but there is a Switch game that I might have to buy the Switch here soon.
Is it Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl?
Obviously, I love Pokemon games. They're my favorite. I'm gonna buy all
Just
6 of them.
because your parents wouldn't let you play them because they had monsters in it doesn't mean you have to hate on them. Okay? Just throw that out there. So we're getting some remakes of the Pokemon games. They kind of, in my opinion, look like Diamond and Pearl, I should say, coming November 19th. Kind of looks like they took the Link's to Awakening approach to it, but a little different. It's not quite the same style to it. It's a little more anime-esque, I think, than it was. The best way that I could describe like the Link's Awakening is that felt more like wooden carve-outs to me than it did like anime characters. So getting a little bit of a different look to it. I might actually pick these up, or at least one of them, because I didn't play them back in the day. I only played like red. No, I had blue. I only played blue, and then I played Moon, and then the newer one since on the Switch. So it might be interesting to pick these up.
Diamond and Pearl is what got me back into Pokemon. When I kicked it back in college, I picked this up when it released, and yeah, I've been a fan ever since. I'm really excited to see these ones getting remastered. Some of my favorite Pokemon are in this one, and the features that are coming back, I'm super excited because they haven't been putting them in any of the other releases since. So some of the features coming back is the underground, which is where you can go in and you sort of like dig against the wall, and you can find all sorts of different fossils. So you can get fossils from the fossil Pokemon from the previous 3 generations still. And they're also including the secret bases in this one, which wasn't initially in this game. So that's pretty awesome because people love building their secret bases and hiding them in the walls and stuff in the other Pokemon games. Stickers is a weird one, but basically it's a clear Pokeball that you acquire stickers for, and when your Pokemon comes out of the Pokeball, it gets like this cloud effect based on the stickers that you add. So if you have like lightning stickers, it'll be like shocking as it opens up. I don't know, it's just a fun little twist to add your own personality to your Pokemon. Fashion, there's a fashion show that you can put your Pokemon in, and there's different contests, and the Union Room, which is sort of like an area where you can all gather together and trade and battle, which is kind of cool.
To be honest, that fashion part is what I love the most about the most recent Pokemon games. It's not even like Pokemon fashion, it's like trainer fashion. Building your because they have it in Unite and in Sword and Shield, building like your trainer card, like your little baseball card for trainer. I have spent far more time on that than I want to admit. Just making the coolest looking, like I'll post them up on Twitter here, but just making the prettiest little baseball collector card I can get. I love it.
So you said you went from red to moon.
Yeah.
So you missed X and Y, where you got to make your own little like video trailer. Like you made your own like movie trailer for your character. It was ridiculous.
Did they use that for like when you did online battles? Did it give like your little trailer to your guy?
I don't even remember like
cool.
how it was used. I think I did it once because the story like pushes you there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care about this.
Do they have a
skip?
Do they have a service where you could actually print out your trainer's like baseball card? Like that'd be a fun little
So
thing.
if I wanted to, I probably could like take the photo of it and then crop it down and print my own card for it, which I might now do. Thank you. But like I don't think there's a way that you can like export it and print it
That
with
would've
like a
been-
double side or something.
Be like what did they call them? Like you do it like an actual Pokemon card. But it'd be like, oh, what was it in Magic? What were the head guys called?
Like, are you talking like a commander or a planeswalker? Or...
Yeah, Planeswalker. You could be
Yeah.
like kind of like a card like that, but for your trainer. That'd be cool. Nintendo, give me a call. I have nothing but great ideas. Microsoft or Sony too.
Yeah, those trainer cards are amazing too because you could add all the different hollow effects too, and all the different like shininess to them, and it's like, oh man. Except for the thing is you'd print like one, and then the next day you'd unlock like a new
Yeah.
a new thing, and you're like, well, shit, now I gotta print myself a new card.
No, I enjoyed that.
Think
quite
of
a
all
bit.
the money they could make.
And then just to add to the Union Room piece here, any competitive play. So if you're looking at doing tournaments or ladders or whatever it is for the Pokemon online or in person, I think all the tournaments are anyways. Well, I don't remember what it was COVID. Anyways, it'll still be Sword and Shield that's running the like high-end professional fights. So it won't be in these new ones.
Yeah, there's rumors of people thinking that they will update the national decks to support some of these Pokemon that are in Gen 4 that are not currently in the national decks or the regional decks for Sword and Shield. We'll see though.
I'd be surprised if they don't. I mean, you can easily swap them through home and get them in there. Like it's not like they have to do a lot of infrastructure to make it work. Are you getting both of them?
I don't usually. So even growing up, my sister would get one and I would get the other. And I don't know. I think I'm the weirdo. Like I was totally for blue. Screw red. I was a blue guy. And then it always sort of just like trickled down. Like my sister's younger than me, but she always wanted like the front one. So she got gold and I got silver. And then even for this, she's like, she got diamond and I got pearl. But I think I'm gonna swap her for this one finally. I think I'm gonna go diamond and see how that goes.
Pre-ordered first and make it a forced decision.
Oh God, for Sword and Shield, she was like, oh, I don't know which one to get. And I'm like, I'm getting Shield. And she's like, well, what if I want that? I'm like, no, I already pre-ordered it.
Well, I will pick up the opposite of whichever one you do, just so I can have somebody to
right.
make some trades with if I need them. But
my plan is for diamond. So
right. Super duper. There's also a special Switch. There's a special edition Switch Lite being released for this as well. So that'll be neat. You should see that November 5th, so a little bit before you actually get the games coming out. So we got some more info / eyes upon the Pokemon Legends Arceus. Arceus. Like an RC car, but us. Got it. Arceus. Coming next year, early next year, so that's a bonus. Kind of an open world action RPG deal. I am stoked to ride the Pokemon. I thought that was super cool that they brought that in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what he was riding on because it's been a while since I've seen it. But I was like, oh, I totally want to ride on that thing and just trample other them other Pokemons.
There was like hang gliding. There was a fish. There was like the deer looking thing. Yeah,
that's what it was. Yep.
Basculegion looks badass. It's the evolution of Basculus, and it's like it's the souls of all the dead fish that didn't make it upstream that make like this super fish, and you're like, I got you. That's my guy.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one, I think, for sure. I do wonder about it because they talked about Pokemon can like attack you while you're just out and about. It sounds like some of them might have some kind of like curse or disease to them that makes them a little more aggressive or violent than usual. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Like, can you just straight run from them? Do they do your character damage? Do you take damage as it like your trainer in this one versus how much that's going to just turn into a Pokemon fight?
So
Those sorts of things.
your trainer can faint and it will go back to camp. And then
Yep.
from what I was seeing, it's more like a Monster Hunter style situation where, you know, you're going out and you're exploring the area. So it's not technically open world. And I know
Oh, gotcha.
people keep saying open world Pokemon, but like in none of the marketing or anything is it ever say open world specifically. And they have these camp bases and they showed a map at one point where it's like you could pick like here or there or there. So I think you're going to be going around the Hisui region and just looking for specific Pokemon. And I think those might be like the big bosses for those areas, as how I'm seeing it probably ending out how it will play.
Little less excited to hear it's kind of like Monster Hunter. I did enjoy playing Monster Hunter, Matt, when you and I were going through it. So I guess that's it. It works for the design for like making sure the Switch can handle it for sure, because having it being too open world, you know, if it's got to basically run like The Witcher, which runs fabulous on it, but still, I don't expect that out of, you know, a Pokemon game just because. But
yeah.
If it plays like Monster Hunter, does that mean I can kill the Pokemon and slowly make armor and outfits out of it?
So skinning them
I think so. When I mentioned Monster Hunter, I think more of like how your
the maps are set up.
Maps are set up and how like maybe the like quest structure might be set up. Like I'm going to this area to look for this Pokemon and I'm going to do a Pokemon battle with it so I can get it. Because all of this is before Pokemon have been domesticated. People are terrified of Pokemon, and so it's like way back in Pokemon history.
Yep, it's super far back.
So I think we're gonna get a lot of things where like it's I keep thinking of it as like Pokemon Snap a little too, because you're going out to different areas and you're trying to find just that right Pokemon to get the details on it, and you might catch it, you might fight it, but they're doing some weird things. I don't know if you caught these, Mike. Like they're changing up the battle system pretty drastically, so you can do either like a speed style attack, which might put your Pokemon like next in order, so you could score to do 2 attacks at once, or you can do like a really strong attack, but that might bump you down. So like there's this extra layer to the battle system that's really drastic from the way Pokemon currently plays.
That kind of reminded me of like the Final Fantasy X little sidebar of like, you know, your turn order and what you can do to, you know, hopefully boost you guys ahead of whatever might kill you in the next round.
Yeah, for sure. And that was one of my favorite parts of 10. So like to see something like that come in here, I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. And then like the fact that they're even adding new Pokemon evolutions or just straight up new Pokemon that they showed in this trailer, like that was really exciting, because what happened to these Pokemon that they are no longer in the future? Maybe we'll get that discussed.
It's like the Slowpokes, they just ate them all. Or like what Matt wants to do and make Pikachu hoodies out of real Pikachus.
I mean, who doesn't want a Pikachu hoodie?
I mean, that's essentially what Mimikyu does. So
it's true. I actually really liked that Pokemon when I first saw it. I was like, that is amazing.
Pokemon are slightly terrifying. Like Drifloon picks up children and just takes them into the sky.
Yeah, some of those are super dark if you actually read like the lore on them. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, not a whole lot else going on in the Pokemon world. Excited to see more as it comes out, if we get any more on Arceus, but I'm definitely getting it. I know that for sure. Unless it like day one we get reviews of it being just, you know, in terrible shape, it doesn't run well, and
Switch Pro exclusive.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Switch Pro exclusive.
Until you can prove it doesn't have the possibility, Chris, it's always going to have the possibility. You have to prove it without a doubt. Like this is court. Not even a shadow of a doubt.
It exists until it's proven that it doesn't exist.
A literal impossibility. But okay.
All right.
Next up, we got a little bit of indie showcase news. So we also had a Nintendo Indie, a Nindy little mini direct thing as well. So we can get into conversation about that. Matt, this is the game I think that'll sell you a Switch.
This is a game. Yeah, this is a game that I might pick up a Switch for. And I love Jet Set Radio Future. It was so much fun. And they were talking and showing off more of this game. And the thing, I put it in the notes here. You probably maybe don't get it. But one thing I loved about Jet Grind Radio and Jet Set Radio Future is when you talk to people, they weren't just sitting here. They were always just, hey, what's up? How you doing? Let's go podcasting together, bros, or whatever. Let's go graffiti Japan, right? And they do the same thing. And I'm so excited. But this game looks like just the next iteration of Jet Set, whatever, Radio Grind, whatever. So I might have to pick it up.
Pick up that OLED model.
Yeah.
Pre-order it the 24th.
Yep. Might have to.
So yeah, as Matt was saying, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is basically a spiritual successor to the Jet Set stuff, with dance moves from Pa Rappa. So it's a good time.
So I had initially seen this game like a year ago.
Yep.
And it is coming to PC.
I think it's coming to PC and timed console exclusive to, I think, Switch.
Yeah.
So I technically don't have to buy a Switch.
Yes, you do. You have two options. Buy a Switch and your PC is fine. Don't buy a Switch, and I don't know why it caught fire, but it did.
Jesus.
Do it.
But see, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is going to have ray tracing. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not.
Bomb Rush will. Halo won't.
Yeah, right. They haven't said it. I don't think they've officially said it yet.
They have not. I mean, the thing that they did say is it didn't have it in that original.
Yeah, a year ago.
Next up is Toem, a photo adventure. I don't know wholly what I think about this one. I think it could be fun, depending on what restrictions there are. Like with Pokemon Snap, I'm enjoying it. I'm still only the first 2 areas because I just haven't had time to play it. But I just wanted to get out there and take pictures. Like, I didn't want to deal with this like extensive story and all these research bits and things like that. So I'm hoping with like Toem, you can actually just go take pictures and just move area to area. Maybe with some objectives to, move to the next area, but not like 30 minutes of tutorial on each thing you're doing to be able to just go take 3 minutes of pictures.
Yeah, I know people are looking at this one being like, this is what Pokemon Snap should have been. And I'm like, I kind of like to just like Pokemon Snap, you just jump in and be like, picture. All right, I'm done. Like, the goal is to take pictures, where this seems like the goal is to like adventure and like move around, and like pictures is sort of like a side objective. But it looks pretty. It looks really nice. So
it's definitely a unique art style. Something that I don't see in a lot of games. So Loop Hero, I don't even care. Like, I think this is a Devolver title as well.
Yep.
I really like most of the stuff that they do, but this one just did not sell me on it. I didn't want to build out like the path that the hero goes upon instead of actually playing the path. You just kind of set, all of these things. Are you trying to get the hero through? Are you trying to kill the hero? I don't really know yet, but I'm not 100% sold on this one yet.
So I've heard great things about this game, and I've been meaning to try it, but now that it's coming to Switch, I might hold it just a little longer until I can play it there. I think it's definitely a different take on the hero story, right? Because you are typically in the control of the hero directly, and for this, you're still in control of the hero, and you want the hero to survive. It's just you're placing your different tiles on the loop, trying to get them through and trying to keep them alive. And how you do that, it's just you're not controlling the hero directly.
Gotcha. So you're trying to boost them. You're not trying to put impediments and so on.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a game a few years ago? It was kind of another indie game where it was essentially a 2-player game, but one player built the dungeons and the placed the enemies, and the other player went through. Forget what that was called.
There was a Dungeons and Dragons game that had that to it. There was a Dungeon Master mode, and I'm trying to remember which title it was that you could do that on.
Okay.
We've played it a few times. It was okay. That's all I got for that one. Far changing tides. Also, there's very few in this Nindy thing that really kind of stuck out to me. But if there's anything, Justin, you wanna?
I got nothing on this one. I didn't even know this. I didn't even know this was a sequel.
Necro Barista. You play a barista who drinks coffee with the dead. It's available now if that's something that interests you. Axiom Verge 2. I've actually heard really good things about Axiom Verge, being one of the best kind of Metroidvanias out there currently. So if you love those, give that a try. I actually thought about picking up Axiom Verge 2, not the first one, just to give it a go. But this is made by like a single dude, and it's a really high quality game. So definitely check those out.
It's definitely, from my understanding, it's also a bit different from the first one. The first one's more of a true Metroidvania, where this one
Gotcha.
sort of changes it up in some different ways. Do we dig into Boyfriend Dungeon? And
Are you playing it currently?
I'm not, but it's getting some pretty bad press right now from the way it's handling some things.
Oh wow.
Go on.
I'd have to bring up the article.
People have problem with dating your sword.
No. Let's see. There's some, the way they handle some of the relationships is not great. So in the beginning of the game, there is a content warning saying, like, this does cover some mature content, and there are going to be some possible trigger situations. But what it doesn't tell you is that they're not possible. You have to play through these. So they're not super great.
I mean, it says it may include, references to certain things.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't say, wait. It may include, but I had to do it. That's splitting hairs, I think.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to possibly interact with those things, don't pick up the game. That just, I don't know. That feels like kids being taken to Deadpool because it's a superhero movie, right? Like, that's where I feel like this fits in. You got a warning, maybe stop.
Maybe the warning could have just been a little better, phrased slightly better. But it seems like they've done good to the community, and the community they're trying to represent. So,
was this more of like a parental issue? Parents weren't happy? Is that?
I don't remember exactly. I think it has to do with representation.
Okay, gotcha.
And actions that usually coincide.
So the exact warning, the original warning is, this game may include references to unwanted advances, stalking, and other forms of emotional manipulation. Play with care.
Interesting. Those darn swords, and they're stalking and emotional manipulation. It is about dating your sword and then like growing the relationship, and then your weapon gets better. Is it my understanding the game right? Is that kind of?
Well, the weapon is a person too, so
Okay.
Yeah.
What's interesting is you go further in the article, they talk about games like Persona 5 and having like suicide and rape, or sexual assault, I guess. And a large game like Persona didn't catch heat like this. More people probably played Persona than have played Boyfriend Dungeon. So it's kind of interesting. I think maybe they're just stomping on a game that's not as big, just to cancel it.
Maybe.
That's all we got for Boyfriend Dungeon. Don't play it if you don't want to be subjected to, things that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. coming out this holiday season. Islanders console edition is out now currently. Metal Slug Tactics looked gorgeous. I absolutely want this game. Yeah, that's all I got for that. It just
I'm interested in Metal Slugs. Like, I think the most I ever saw on like the hero side of the map was like 3 people. So I'm interested to see how they balance that with like the 3 or 4 people against like 6 to 10 other units.
I think it's going to be based on combos and badassery. I think that's the only way they can do that, right?
Of course, yeah.
I was
watching this trailer, and I don't know. So as a FPS bro, I was just sitting here thinking, how cool would it be to have an actual like FPS in this type of art style and this type of theme, and all the cutscenes were in that. What looks like they're doing here in that like 90s cartoon. Like, it's like, now I really want that because I'm not big into the tactics stuff, but yeah,
it looks really good. Anyway, did you ever play Justin Record of a Garrist War?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that's another tactical RPG like this, or tactical game, and oftentimes you were outnumbered several to 1. Your party was smaller. You had to rely on like these giant combos to break through the lines, or to like shut down chunks of their ability to do more damage. And if you didn't, you'd get scrubbed pretty quick. But I think that might be kind of what they do with this too, is, because they did talk about combinations based on where people are set up.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably how it's going to work. You can remove units pretty quickly and easily that way.
I'm more on the Disgaea side of the tactical, where I just swarm people with giant weapons and mass amounts of people.
Yep. I haven't gotten into those yet. I still want to play them. I don't have the time yet to get into those. Like, I need to just set aside and play the new one. If that's out yet, I'm not sure if it is, but and just jump into that one. I picked up the demo of 3 or 5. I don't remember which one it was, but
when your character can level to 1,000 and then reset and then level up to 1,000 again, and then you can level up your weapons to the thousands, it can be investing.
It's just a few hours of gameplay. A Garrist War was kind of the same way, but you leveled to a certain point, built up a romance, kind of like a Fire Emblem-ly romance with like another character, and then you would mate, and then basically that story would end, and you would follow the story of the kid. So you would keep going generation to generation to generation of this war that just keeps spreading on forever. And I think I ended up like in generation 8, and I was like, all right, I need to play something like some other game right now, because this is just getting out of hand. But
Chris's face when you talked about mating your characters was priceless.
It happens in like, if you look
in life.
It does. No, if you look at Mass Effect, you're mating your characters. They're doing stuff, right?
It's less mating, more just sex.
That is
Mass
mating.
Effect.
It's the same thing.
Different
maybe
objectives.
Sims, right? It's been forever since I never even played like the life sides of the Sims. Can't you? You can have a kid. Doesn't that kid grow up, and then you have another? There you go. It's like the Sims.
I think they made Whoopi though.
Yeah.
Or Woohoo. Is it Woohoo?
Woohoo.
Yeah.
If you like Disgaea, there's another game that I should probably send your way. I forget what it's called. It's a Shining Force or Shining
Forces.
something. It's a 360 game, or I think it's 360. But I'll send you a picture of it. You can give it a look up if you want to.
Sweet.
Tetris Effect. I'm not even 100% sure what this was. We've already got Tetris 99. Do we need more Tetris?
Yeah. Tetris Effect is made by the same guy who made Rez. Like, what is Rez?
That's what I'm doing right now. Like, what are you talking about?
So it's a super stylized, it's way more focused on the beat of the music and like dropping stuff. And Tetris Effect actually came out initially as a VR exclusive. So you're like in the map as it's falling down.
Do you
and it's
have to
all
like
these
grab
amazing
the
visuals.
pieces and put them in place?
No.
Oh,
you
not
just
sold.
drop them like normal. But the music is the music's one of the things that sells Tetris Effect specifically. It's and then the visuals are amazing. So I'm very excited to possibly jump back into this again.
It's coming out October 8th. If you're interested in jumping into that, you can play with Justin maybe if it has multiplayer.
It does.
I'm going to skip over the other little bits here and just go to Eastward. I am kind of excited for Eastward. I still don't know
what it
is. It almost feels like a what is that Mother game, that the first one?
Mother.
Well, I guess if you want to call it that.
And then Earthbound.
Earthbound, yeah.
And then Mother 3, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited. I like Chucklefish's games, but I'm not big into farm sims. So like I played Stardew and I really enjoyed it. I liked more the city interactions and the fighting in the dungeon and like exploring your area. So if it's more of the story driven part of this, I am going to be in hard.
Yeah, it looks more story driven than it is like farm sim. I do see like assets that look kind of farm simulator, but I wonder if they're just recycled from, like Stardew, things like that, for backgrounds and for locale instead of other things. So we'll see. It seems more of a puzzle game than it is farming, but coming out September 16th. Definitely check that one out. I think it'll be a good one.
And I don't know if I've seen any sort of combat for that game either, but I guess you didn't really see the combat from Stardew really advertised either. So
yeah, it's probably not a big focus, but it seemed like there could be some deadly interactions. That's all we got for Nintendo. Stay tuned for Matt to cry about Destiny 2, or are they tears of joy?
Well, I would say there's some good news here. Whether it's news that'll get me playing like I used to, probably not. Will I play? There's one thing here we'll get into that is probably going to make me get back and play for a little bit.
You do know if you pick it back up, you're going, like the last time I picked up Destiny 2 again, I played it for no, okay, yes, at a point, but I played for like 3 weeks straight every single night when I picked it up again. And I was like, hey, Matt, want to do something? And you were like, oh, I'm running with this other group right now. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go back into the Crucible all by myself. And then like 2 days later, be like, hey, I see you just jumped on. You're like, no, I'm going to play with my brother and these other 3 people. And we're doing this run and it only has 4 people. Sorry. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then I quit on you. Yep.
You quit on me. It's a lesson to take away from this.
No, I did end up walking away from it just because there's so much.
The hard part, and this is a big reason why I don't play, is it's hard to stay up to date with stuff, to be able to do that fun stuff, right? Like we couldn't pull you. I think at the time you had asked to play, that's when we were still probably running Shattered Throne and Prophecy dungeons, which are both a ton of fun. But if you're not leveled up, then we're potentially dragging you through it, kicking and screaming, right?
Right. Yeah, I was definitely underleveled.
And that's a big reason why I stopped playing, because it became a second job. We've again, this podcast, we've done this multiple times with Destiny, with WoW. Like these games build these systems in anymore where they want you to play only that game. And I'm not, especially with this podcast, I'm not about that anymore. We play all these other games now, right?
I'm not about that life.
Not about that life. I love the game is still fun, right? They still make a fantastic game, and we'll start off with that. They were celebrating, this was August 24th, I think. They did a big long announcement of the next season, of their next expansion drop, and it's been 30 years of Bungie, so they were celebrating 30 years of being a studio. So that's exciting. I was a little disappointed with their little bit of celebration stuff they did. They opened the show with about a 15-minute talk with Jason Jones, which, if anybody that follows Bungie, I think the last time Jason Jones did an interview, it was with IGN in 2013 before Destiny launched, I believe was the last one. Somebody on the internet can go pull up something more recent and give me shit about it. But this guy just doesn't give interviews, right?
I was starting to think you were going to say like a platform that doesn't exist anymore. And you're like, the last time we did an interview, it was with IGN. I was like, oh, well, that's anticlimactic.
Yeah. But I mean, it was like 8 years ago before the original Destiny launched. And he's usually interesting to listen to, but this little talk they had wasn't, I didn't pull anything from it. I didn't think it was that exciting. It was cool to see him again. He's getting old, but aren't we all? But yeah, as far as the 30th celebration, they did announce in December they're going to have a 30th anniversary pack in Destiny, and this is probably the big thing that might pull me back for a little while, and they might get a little bit more of my money because they're bringing back the Jelly Horn. And anybody who's played Destiny, this was the holy grail weapon. And also those of you that haven't played Destiny or know what the Jelly Horn is by its weird name, it's a Gallarhorn or Jallarhorn or Jallarhorn or however you want to say it, exotic rocket launcher. Yeah, this is an amazing weapon from Destiny 1 that has taken them, I don't know, 5-6 years to put in Destiny 2. But,
did they nerf the crap out of that thing though? Like, which version are we going to get?
Yeah, I got it. I never got it when it was. I had the Gallarhorn for about 3 weeks at its peak. It's when it reigned as the champ. Like people were putting together like LFGs where like if you don't have Gallarhorn, you had to have Gallarhorn to go play with them, and like most everybody had that. I got it on Gallarhorn Day, which I believe is August 14th or the second Friday of August. The reason it's called Gallarhorn Day is it was the second time Xur sold Gallarhorn. And it was also when most people got it, because the first time Xur had Gallarhorn was the first week Destiny was live. And nobody knew this is going to be the fucking best weapon for the next 3 years, right? Everybody's going to want this. Nobody's going to get it because it's hard to get. But anyways, so
I think if you're Minnesota native, you know what that is, and you'd be like, well, it's Gallarhorn. Gotta get this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the Gallarhorn in this game is better than the Gallarhorn that your silly Vikings team uses.
They use a speaker and not a real horn, so I will agree.
Yeah. There were other ways to get it though, right? But it was through random loot drops.
It was much harder to get exotics in Destiny 1. So yeah, it was people still got it, but again, it was harder to get exotics back then. And one of the easier ways to kind of fill out your exotic weapon pool was through Xur. He was this weird octopus-faced bro that showed up like, what was it, like Friday in the AMs and left Sunday morning in the AMs, right? And he was randomly sneaking around the tower, right? You gave him his little strange coins and you could buy stuff from him. So he would kind of randomly every week have a new legend or exotic on sale for a weapon and then a class specific item for each class. But yeah, so I mean, it was really hard to get. And again, go look up Gallarhorn videos on YouTube. There's people that freaking out when they get it for the first time. So I imagine this is not going to be as good as Destiny 1, when it reigns supreme, but it's still just, for people like me that were playing from day one, it might be enough to pull me back for a few weeks to go chase it. The other cool thing that you're doing, again, trying to pull us old folks probably back in, dungeons are really cool in Destiny, and they're turning the loot cave, the famed loot cave, into its own dungeon. So if they don't have you entering this dungeon via the Cosmodrome where that loot cave actually is, I'll be very disappointed. But again, kind of celebration. But yeah, they're gonna have a 30th anniversary pack. Those are the two big things that you'll get in it. It'll be a separate charge than your season passes and the next expansion, but I think it's $25, or you can get it in one of the fancy bundled edition with the next expansion for like $100 or something. But yeah, so that's exciting. Whole bunch of other emblems and ornaments and sparrows and ships and normal crap with Destiny. More cosmetic stuff that you're just going to go right into your vault and you're never going to actually use, because that's Destiny now.
There is one thing I want to disagree with you on though. Getting exotics was not difficult, because I remember every time we ran something, I would get the exotic that was supposed to be the rare drop from that run. So I don't know what you're talking about, but it was pretty easy for me.
Yeah, that always did seem to happen. I was one of those people. The first time I ran Last Wish raid in Destiny 2, I ran with a group at one point that raided a ton. They raided a ton, and they just pulled me in one time. I ran through it, and I got 1,000 voices. First time running through it, and so many people were pissed. But again, it's tale as old as time in any sort of raid or thing like that. You know, there's always that new guy that comes in, and
It's my first day.
First
What
time.
does this do?
I've been running this 50 times for the last 6 weeks straight. Each character, and you get it first run. Yeah.
I remember that happening in WoW with like the rare mount drops. Like, I've been running this every day for the past 3 years. Oh, I ran this my first time. Fuck off.
Stupid RNG. The other thing from this announcement, the Season of Lost started. That's their next season. It'll be the season that takes us up to their new expansion, the Witch Queen, next February. So it's going to be a pretty long season for anybody that's still playing. The kind of notable things that came out of that are coming out of this new season is crossplay is finally in Destiny 2. So you'll be able to play with everybody can play together. Fantastic. PlayStation, Xbox, PC. We can all be friends now. The other big thing is I never played this mode a lot, really at all. But Trials has sucked from what I've read for over the last, I think 2 or 3 years, really. It's just been a dead play, not dead, but they don't give it the love it deserves for the activity it is and what it's supposed to represent. So this season they put in a bunch of anti-cheat updates. The kind of the unique thing they did was add matchmaking, which is unique for Trials, as well as solo queue. So those of you that wanted to give it a try but didn't have another 2 people to do it with, now you can matchmake or solo queue. And
was Trials the one where you had to win like 50 games to get an item at the end of it, or to get like a trip to a vault of some kind, or whatever it was?
Trip to the lighthouse. Yep. So you had to win 7 matches, I think, without losing more than 2. Again, they had little mechanics in there. You could lose like 3, but you had a card or a coin or something that would forgive you on one of them, right? If you went flawless, so 7 wins, 0 losses, you would get what are they called? Adept weapons. So they'd be really good Trials of Osiris weapons, just their perks would be a little bit better. And I think you even got I think in Destiny 2 you got a special looking armor set for that season too. So but that's good for news for Trials fans out there. I haven't heard anything since they announced this on people complaining, but I'm also not as tied into the community as I used to be. So, and then the beef of the announcement was the Witch Queen, the new expansion coming out February 22nd, 2022. So 2/22/22. Much like Skyrim's 11/11/11, or now 11/11/21. But Savathun's coming. Anyone who pays attention to the story, it's kind of like winter's coming. So winter's finally here, or in this case, Savathun's finally here. The unique twist on this is there's going to be Hive Guardians now. So basically kind of like you, but Hive. So that'll be an interesting. They didn't show any gameplay, so I imagine we'll get that sometime in the next couple months to see that. They're
so
finally
did they get like powers from the Traveler too? Like how did the Hive have light? Did they somehow
good question
like immerse themselves into the Traveler, and now the Traveler's like the Borg and became one of us?
Good question. I imagine when you play through the campaign of the story, they probably fill you in on that.
Oh, boo.
I don't know. I don't know if it's been teased in the lore or not. This is the first I've heard of it. I don't keep up as much with the lore, I guess probably in the last 6 months. But yeah, it's the first I heard of it. So I don't know. Savathun's a big boss. She's a big Hive queen. She's kind of badass. So
is she the skyscraper-sized character that I saw walking like through a river or ocean or something?
I
potentially.
hope so.
I mean,
Okay.
this is
It's like taller than the tall lady though.
why am I thinking of? I'm forgetting his name. The big baddie from Taken King. He. This is like his sister. So like there was 3 of them, and they're all kind of badass. They're all these like godlike creatures. Yeah. Why am I blanking on his name? Anyways, but yeah. So this is a big enemy that again, this is the winter in the book. Winter is coming. So in this case, Savathun. They're finally bringing weapon crafting to the game. I imagine I'm gonna shit on Bungie a little bit here. They're gonna have some convoluted way to do it, and it's gonna suck, and it's gonna be about a year before they fix it, because that's what they did with the transmog system that they introduced a couple, I think 2 seasons ago. It's like, oh, this should be simple. I should just pay Glimmer and be able to change my stuff to stuff I've already acquired. Nope. Here, do 18 steps to get this one little bit. Oh, and you can only earn one of those a week, or however it worked. So we'll see, but it's still cool. Weapon crafting's coming. We kind of got a little bit of that in the first expansion of Destiny 2. It was a very light version. It wasn't very good, but it was kind of crafting. But
is that letting you like tear apart stuff and get materials to build specific weapons? So like if I wanted a new bad juju, I could get these parts and build it? Or is it just building like your own assault weapon or like your own SMG or whatever it might be, pulse rifle?
I don't know. There was no information on how the system's going to work. Why
don't you know?
Because I only know what they told me. I'll call Jason Jones. Let me just call Jason Jones.
Do it.
I'll ask him. Yeah. The thing that, like, as I'm watching this, I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. But the one big thing they talked about during this presentation was comparing the Witch Queen's campaign to Doom, Halo, God of War, Titanfall 2's campaign. I'm just sitting there like pressing X on my keyboard, X to doubt. I'm like, I want to believe, but I don't know. So, but they say this campaign for the Witch Queen is gonna be better than all the ones before. So, and actually be worthwhile. Yeah. Again, I'm hopeful. Again, I still think Destiny has really amazing lore, but it's hard to get that out of the games. Other than that, the next 2 expansions after that, the following years is Lightfall and The Final Shape. That'll bring the 10-year story of the Darkness and Light saga to an end. That's it. I mean,
they become one.
Yeah. They've said there will be more Destiny, but the story we started that nobody knows what story it was. Let's be real. Destiny 1 that they started in Destiny 1 is going to be finished up in The Final Shape in, what would that make it? 2024. So probably springtime of 2024.
So after 10 years, they'll actually start a new one with a new story that'll be,
I don't know,
something.
I don't know where they're going to take Destiny from there, but yeah,
probably to the moon, just like 14. Oh no, you've already been to the moon. Damn it.
Yeah, twice in the first game, then they repackaged it in the second one. Yep. I don't know. I have my hopes up. There's a lot of good news there. Whether it ever pulls me back in like it did before, I doubt it. I'm hopeful the new campaign is as good as they say it's going to be, because again, they used to be really good at campaigns. But yeah, we'll see.
When Bungie releases these expansions like this, do they release the whole campaign at once, or do they do it sort of like you buy in and then 4 months down they release the next section of the story?
So the major releases like this one coming up, or Beyond Light last year, stuff like that, right? Those, yeah, you get the whole campaign for that. Something they started, I guess it'd be about 2 years ago, but really only in the past year has it been any good, is to try to continue on that story, like what happens after you defeat whatever the boss of that expansion is. You're not like boss of the week, but boss of your expansion. What god are you taking down at this expansion? they kind of continue on with the aftermath and kind of do some filler, like this season leading up to the Witch Queen. They're bringing back Marasov, the queen. She's going to try to take over her dreaming city from Savathun, right? And that's going to supposedly lead into the Witch Queen's story, right? So they use the seasons to kind of do more storytelling, but since I don't think they do storytelling very good in the game, they make you grind out all this dumb crap just to get a cutscene. I just go watch videos online and consume the story that way. And then I don't have to stay in a shitty playlist that they haven't updated for 2 years just to grind out, get X kills with X weapon or whatever.
Yeah. Sound a little bitter.
I don't know.
Smidge.
Just a little. I want to play the game, but
I get it. That's how I consume the Kingdom Hearts story as well.
yeah.
Nice. Well, I think that just about wraps it up for us today on the podcast. I do have a question, Justin, before you go, before we say goodbye, I suppose. What, for this holiday, are you looking forward to the most in the video game world? You can't say Switch Pro because we already know that's high on the list. But, as far as, games, things like that coming out holiday here, what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I think I am looking forward to Metroid Dread a whole ton. I really want to get my hands on that. And then, oh man, I guess it's after holiday now, but I know Horizon was initially supposed to be out this holiday, so I was pretty bummed when that got pushed. But now it's like a week before my birthday, so whatevs. I'll get to play it still.
gives you more time to try to get a hold of a PS5 and join the other 7 players that have it.
Yeah, I think I'll pick one up next week probably.
I tried getting one. You keep posting them in Discord, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? Maybe, like, at worst case, if I decide I don't want it, I'm sure one of you guys will, take it. So,
yeah, that's definitely another reason to join our Discord if you're looking for when is the PlayStation restock. We usually get a message or 3, as they pop in. I did queue up pretty early, and I still waited 2 hours before they told me, hey, we're sold out.
Yeah, that Sony Direct one is always hit and miss, but the queue system is nice because it's a lottery. So you just get in the queue and then it's a lottery from there. So
Gotcha. All right. Well, once again, thanks for listening. Check us out at our website, campfiregamingpodcast.com, Twitter, CampGamePod, Insta is our Campfire Gaming Podcast, as well as YouTube. Hit those likes, hit those subscribes, especially if you like what we're doing here. Join us on our Discord. Join the conversation and the fun. And as always, we'll see you next time around the campfire. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Justin.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I didn't interrupt this time, Mike, because I was like, no, he's got it. I ruined it last time. And nope.